are at the Mall of America because, again, all Americans come to this mall.
Right.
So we just saw a movie here at the Mall of America.
Where we are.
Where we are currently. We just saw the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Did it have a special name?
3D.
3D. We only saw it in 2D because we saw it in the D-box seats.
Which means your seats move.
And
which was pretty cool.
I'm gonna be honest with you. I wished it could have moved more.
Yeah,
like I felt like there was a lot of stagnant.
A really powerful action movie.
Yeah. So let's go through the movie. It's about this gal. Well, it actually starts off and it's really cool.
Yeah.
And it's like clips from the original one. And it's tying the original one into this one. It's like they show them at the house, like, you know, they show like, I remember the first one so well because they kill a guy in a wheelchair.
Yeah.
So they show that and then they kind of lead into it and melt these two together.
Right.
In that this town got together and burned down the house with, that had the original people in it. That town got together and, you know, threw bottles of flaming fire in there.
Yep.
And killed everybody. Or so they thought.
All the Sawyers.
Yes, all the Sawyers, all the.
And then there was a woman with a baby, and then this guy was like, "Oh, I'll take care of you and your baby." And they took the baby, and then he like kicked her in her head.
So a woman who had a baby must have crawled out somehow, and then again this guy took her. So then it's like present day, and you assume it's the kid that he took, and.
Right.
Shockingly enough, she works in
a butcher.
In the butcher
area
it's
of
like
a supermarket.
in her blood. And she gets this letter saying that her grandmother died.
Who she never knows.
I didn't know I had a grandma.
She didn't know that.
She also left you a bunch of shit, and you need to go to Texas to get it.
Right.
So her and her boyfriend, Trey Songz, and her friend, 4 of them, head down there.
Yep.
Of course, like idiots, they pick up a hitchhiker, which is never a good idea.
Really hot hitchhiker though.
But he seems super like, oh, he's so nice and he's an all-American Boy Scout.
He does seem really nice.
Whatever. And he just wants to rob the place. So they get to this house and it is freaking amazing. It's a mansion. It's huge. It's beautiful. Pristine.
Silver everywhere.
You know, it was like set up for a party. There's a big pool table.
Totally.
So
they're in the house.
And the guy who brought them to the house, the lawyer, said, whatever you do, read this letter. This is a letter from your grandma. Read this letter. Read this letter. Read this letter. She didn't read the letter.
She didn't read it till like the way end.
For some reason, another retard alert.
They all go to get food for dinner.
The original 4, but
and they leave the hitchhiker at the house. But he did play it really well. He was like, I'm gonna grab everyone's bags and kind of straighten up a little bit and get ready for when you guys come home. And then he goes in and starts just like robbing the place blind, stealing all the silver.
And he grabs the keys and he goes through all the rooms and there's a big old key and he's like, we gotta find the door for this key.
Where do you go? So he finds this big ass door down in the wine cellar.
And who do you think's down there?
Well, we all thought his name was Thomas Hewitt, but evidently it is Jebediah Sawyer.
Jebediah Sawyer.
So Jedediah.
Yeah, they call him Jed. So he unknowingly sets Leatherface free. So of course he gets it, and then
so he dies.
And then the friend gets it,
cooking guy gets it, and Trey and
then the car
girlfriend
crashes, and
they're like having sex.
There's a
couple of good death scenes, but for the most part,
I mean, it was in 3D, and there were a few parts you could tell they were like, oh, that was made for 3D. The fire looked weird, and the blood looked weird.
The blood looked really weird.
Yeah,
really bad,
but,
like bright red.
Yeah, and so
like this red.
You know, it kind of seems like the town is like in on it. So the chick who inherited everything like gets away and gets to town, and they're like not really helping her.
No, they're like the town's like against her because she's a Sawyer.
And she found out all the information about how it happened. And, you know, like, that was my family. You killed my family, even though your family was killers.
Right.
Like,
and then
how dare you
like
kill my family?
We're supposed to feel bad for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
I did
guy
not.
Because he's like gonna die, and then you're like, oh, don't hurt him. And then I was like, wait a minute. He killed so many people.
Their family slaughtered people and ate them for dinner. And we're supposed to have, like, sympathy for them?
They were hungry. They were poor.
But
they needed meat.
Anywho, you know, and it just gets down, and she finally, at the end, after all this hubbub and people die,
and she's like, "It's me, it's your cousin, it's Heather, it's me. I was adopted, it's me."
To Leatherface.
To Leatherface, and then he's like, so that he like sets her free, and then the mayor comes, who's a real dick, and he was the one who like led the lynch mob to burn down their house in the first place. So he's there like, "I'm gonna finish what I started, boy." So he's like gonna kill Leatherface, and then she comes with a chainsaw and she slides it over to him and she says,
"Do what you
do, cuz."
Yes, she calls him cuz. That's right.
Do what you do, cuz.
So
meaning,
either way,
kill this motherfucker.
Either way,
which he does.
He gets it, and they like, and then they just like nonchalantly walk home.
And they just walk home together.
And then she reads the letter, and the letter.
And then she reads the letter.
And then she reads the letter after that.
The letter said exactly what you thought it would say.
You know, it said,
"Down in the basement, there's a man. He's your cousin."
It basically said, like, you know, this is the house, everything is yours, everything I have is yours, but that comes with responsibilities.
All this money, all these assets comes with
If you
chores.
want the house and the assets, you have to take care of your responsibilities, aka feeding the crazy in the basement.
Who's locked behind a very, very strong door.
Yes.
So he never comes out of the wine cellar. She just needs to bring down his tray of food.
Yeah. And they sort of have like an understanding. Like,
yeah, it's weird.
At the end,
she tries to take the mask off, and he's like, "No,
but he
not the mask."
But he doesn't hurt her. And
he doesn't hurt her.
Speak.
He doesn't speak, but he just goes, like, "Get off me, bitch."
Again, but
he
no
doesn't
words.
speak. I know. Sorry. Well, what did you think?
I'm gonna say I thought it was extremely lackluster for a Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie.
Absolutely.
I thought. I don't really care. It's not part of my movie experience. I know a lot of people. I heard a lot of people say there was no boobs. There was no boobs. There was no sex. Nothing like that.
I know. It was like they deliberately had her shirt taped so that we couldn't even get a nip slip.
The kills I thought were weak to nothing.
Subpar.
Just nothing.
Subpar.
I thought, you know, I'm kind of bummed. You know, I shouldn't say that. I will probably buy this movie because I'd like to buy a lot of horror movies.
Don't buy this one.
I don't know if I will.
Buy the Jessica Biel one. Don't buy this
I have that one.
That's
already.
a good one.
But I thought this one just was not as good.
Not as good at all.
I would give it like a C minus.
C minus, maybe a D plus. I'm pretty much all in it. I'm pretty much exactly the same.
I was very excited. And
we love Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
We love
it. It's supposed to be nitty gritty. It's supposed to be really bloody.
We were in our seats like this, and it was over, and I just went, like I made a noise.
And then I kind of laughed, and it wasn't good.
It wasn't.
I would not
and
waste.
These movies are it's a simple formula.
Very simple.
Just
How do you fuck it up?
Huge guy.
Well, they fucked it up.
Kill people and have it be crazy scary.
Right.
And it wasn't.
And it just wasn't.
So
don't
let us know what you think, but we weren't huge fans.
Not at all.
We get.
I suppose it's maybe half.